Kalki, 2898 AD, sees record advance bookings. I mean, what's a film without a poster, I say? We're talking about the release of the sci-fi film, of course, and the larger-than-life aspect of this film is in its star cast. Amitabh Bachchan, Kamal Haasan, Deepika Padukone, Prabhas, amongst others. The post-apocalyptic film is inspired by Hindu scriptures, apparently, and is set in the year 2898 AD and is being helmed or directed by Nag Ashwin. As per initial reports, I mean, brace yourself, the film has so far made over 8 crores in advance bookings on the opening day, and it releases on 27th of June. Our focus on the film because, like I said, hold your breath. 26,535 tickets of the film has been sold for 1726 shows, and it grossed 7.7 crores in Telugu. Whereas in Hindi, 13,833 tickets of the film have been sold for 17,038 shows, and it grossed 46.3 lakhs in Tamil. 29,025 tickets of the film sold at 278 shows, and it earned 5.12 lakhs. In Kannada, it sold 101 tickets for 32 shows, grossing 23,300. What is it about the film that it is breaking all records? Let me now turn to my colleague Krishna Kumar, who follows films very, very closely to understand, do we have yet another historical, mythological, sci-fi fare from the South as the biggest blockbuster for 2024-2025? Krishna.
Right, I mean, it's look at the star cast, and that will tell you the reason why there's so much of interest in the film. And you're also talking about a filmmaker called Nag Ashwin, whose last film was called Mahanati, which won the national award as well. So while that was not exactly this mega budgeted film,
yeah, that was the story of the actress Savitri, and it was an emotional ride. But this one,
yeah, so the good thing is that you've got a good director on your hands who's helming this film, apart from the fact that the star cast that you mentioned, Amitabh Bachchan, Kamal Haasan, Deepika Padukone and Prabhas. Prabhas on his own is known to deliver 100 crore openers on day one. This time around, the record, apart from all the ticket sales we spoke about, is that Kalki 2898 AD could end up raking in more than 200 crore rupees on day one. That's what it's looking like, and that'll pit itself up against the likes of RRR and Bahubali 2, which are the biggest opening day grossers in Indian cinematic history. So that's the Kalki 2898 AD is looking to make history come day one itself. 120 to 140 crore rupees of gross domestic box office collections, and add to that another 60 to 70 crore rupees from the overseas market as well.
Right.
So that you're looking at a 200 crore rupee opening on day one, and if from day one, if the reports are positive, then it's going to be up against all those other films that I'm talking about, RRR, Bahubali 2, KGF, in terms of overall collections of 1,000 crore rupees and 1,000 crore rupees plus. That's what it's setting itself up for. And of course, the budget-wise, it is being touted as the most expensive Indian movie ever made, 600 crore rupees plus of
amazing
production budget.
Yeah.
That's what you're talking about over here. Mostly shot in the Ramoji Rao Film City in Hyderabad. So, this is again, so it has all the makings. It has Prabhas in it, who's, emblematic of all
Krishna,
these.
yeah, Prabhas is my favorite, let me tell you as well, amongst all the others, Mr. Bachchan and everyone. I'm going to stick my neck out and say Prabhas is. But the last outing of Prabhas, where he played raw drama, we know that that film tanked completely.
Yeah.
So do you think that this is also about the special effects, the fabulous kind of, the overarching production values, which is...
It has to be. You can't just write on Prabhas's name, and clearly that if the makers of Adi Purush thought that that is going to suffice, they really ended up with the egg on their faces, because they had Prabhas in the movie, so they did get a great opening day collection, but that film went nowhere. It was disastrous at the box office, and Prabhas himself has delivered other disasters like Radhe Shyam and other films where even Salar, for that matter, was highly Salar Part 1, Ceasefire, was highly underperforming at the box office. So clearly, just having Prabhas alone is not going to do it for Kalki 2898 AD, and that's the reason why other names matter. Although they're not exactly protagonists of the film, they are very important characters. Be it Amitabh Bachchan playing the character of Ashwathama, or you have Kamal Haasan playing that weird Gollum-like character in the movie, and then you have Deepika Padukone, of course, who's again a global star, has a global recollection in terms of people can connect to her across the world, not just in India. So all of this will matter. It's not going to be just about Prabhas alone. It is Prabhas plus this cast, and of course the huge production values with which this film is being mounted.
Right.
A sci-fi film which is inspired from everything from, you know, Star Wars to Mad Max.
And mythology.
and
That's
Indian
what I want to
mythology.
ask you, that this whole Kalki, the word Kalki, because, you know, legend has it and mythology has it, that this is going to be the Vishnu's last avatar who's almost going to rid us of all the ills, considering the times we live in. How much of that is going to add a flavor? Is that going to be a cherry on the top?
Yeah, I mean, look at what happened with a film like, say, Brahmastra, which also, you know, relied heavily on, you know, Hindu mythology and Indian mythology, you know, to sort of tell its story. So this is Kalki in that sense, as you're rightly pointing out, yes, is that hopefully that hybrid mix of Star Wars plus Mad Max plus Indian mythology. As you know, the Indian mythology says that the Kal Yuga essentially began post the Mahabharata war, and the Kal Yuga also saw the last avatar of Vishnu, which is Kalki, and this is what this movie is named after. And you're talking about a post-apocalyptic world. Post-apocalyptic world is very normal for Hollywood. So in another sense, this is India trying to, you know, is Indian cinema trying to do that post-apocalyptic world with its own take from its own mythology and its own scriptures, which should hopefully connect with the Indian audiences in India and across the world, and all hopefully bring in global audiences the way an RRR did, because it's the kind of money that's being invested into the movie. They've spent heavily on promotions as well. Look at that event where all of these stars came together. They've been promoting the movie non-stop over the last couple of weeks or so.
Right.
So expectations have been rising, and as rightly pointing out, the advance bookings are also telling the story over there in terms of, you know, crores and crores of worth of tickets have been sold already. So yes, of course, it is banking on the production value, the sci-fi aspect of it, and of course, Indian mythology.
And I think it's a great cocktail, because you have this dystopian kind of a world,
Yeah.
I guess, which is very, very with it, you know. Also the mythological part, which is always does very well when it's our audiences, and the big actors. So it seems like a perfect cocktail for success, as it were.
It seems like it. That's a good word you use, Sudha. It seems like it. No one can never. As far as movies are concerned, don't write your winning speech until the movie has already hit the movie screens. You know, the audience will decide whether Kalki 2898 AD is a winner at the movie halls, at the box office, or not. For now, the talk is good, the buzz is good. Yes, there are you know, some skeptics do say the visuals don't really match up to the hype that's being created around it, but hopefully the storytelling, you know, takes the movie through, and people are able to see it, you know, over and above the visuals, and there's a very strong story. And more importantly for movies, there is a thing called as a script or a screenplay.
Yeah, right.
My hope is that, you know, this movie, along with a good story, comes with a good screenplay, and that can have audiences hooked. Just like when you have Bahubali 1 come on, this is supposed to be part of the first installment of the Kalki cinematic universe.
Yes, that's right.
They're going to be making
so we
more
have
of
a
the same.
franchise, yes.
So Bahubali 1 ended with that great line of, you know, why did Kattappa kill Bahubali? You know, that's the kind of scripting that's needed to keep audiences hooked, to keep audiences coming back to the theaters. Let's hope Kalki 2898 AD has that.
Yes, thank you so much, Krishna, for joining us on this broadcast. So there you have it. You know, we've looked at Kalki from all sides, and like Krishna says, you know, do not work on your victory speech unless the movie does well. And we wishing Kalki all the best.